Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of my Immigrant Diary, the space where we unpack the journey, the struggles, and the headlines that defines the immigrant experience. My name is Precious, and as always, I have with me Wale.
I'm happy to be back. Happy to see you, my brother. Happy to talk about the exciting things that have been going on. Sometimes we talk about the challenging things, but I'm always looking forward to the exciting things. But yeah, I'm happy to be back.
All right, that's good to know. The World Cup has come to an end, and congratulations to Spain. I don't want to go into the details. My prediction the last time we did this record, it was that England and France will play the final, but they played the third place.
They played something.
They played the third place match, and as predicted, England beat France, which was what I predicted. But like I said again, congratulations to Spain.
Yeah,
it was important that they win, and the argument of who is the GOAT, Messi and Ronaldo conversation continues online. It's been crazy. It's wild, Wale, the impact of those two players. How is it that Spain won World Cup and the biggest conversation going around after that World Cup, who is the GOAT? Messi is not the GOAT. Look at the way Ronaldo is the GOAT. The conversation is now about Ronaldo and Messi in certain spaces. It's just crazy how those guys have really impacted the game. But
yeah, obviously they are legends of the game. So
yeah, they are.
It's always going to be. It's going to be like that for a very long time until we have someone else come onto the scene too.
It'll be difficult.
Yeah, it will be extremely difficult. But
these guys are called a glitch in the system. You and I understand IT. They are a glitch. They are a glitch in the system. For me, I see it as we're blessed to have been in the generation to see these things. To see what these guys have done in over 15 to 20 years, what they've done in their career. Those of us who saw it, who watched them through from when they started till now that they are at the eclipse or the end of their career. I feel for me that's what it is. I'm not going to go into who is the GOAT in this conversation, but the truth is I feel blessed to have watched those two players in my lifetime. There are many people who never saw it, who only saw the end, the peak of their career, or who saw in between, But I'll give that to them. They changed the game. They changed many things about the game. Also, it's beautiful.
But all right, congratulations to Spain.
Congratulations. This is what I say. You and I moved to the conversation of Messi. So see what Messi and Ronaldo, of course. Congratulations to Spain. Spain, you won it. You did it. Awesome. But first off, I'm going to just jump right into it. Correct? A highly debated update out of the US right now. Reports are circulating online regarding the Department of Homeland Security moving to deny green cards to immigrants who utilizes public benefit like SNAP, what people commonly call food stamp or Medicaid. So if you've used them and you're applying for a green card, be aware that if USCIS find any information about the usage, they might deny your green card. Wale.
Yes, there's always been this kind of rule in the green card application process for a while, but it looks like it varies from administration to administration. If you take a look at some of the links or some of the reports online, you find that during the Biden administration, the rule was restricted to only those who benefited from cash, like any kind of cash benefit that you get from the government rules you out of the green card approval. Now, the Trump administration has come and said that is not enough. We are going to extend it to if you have ever taken advantage of Medicaid, SNAP, or similar government benefits, then, you would likely not be approved for a green card. What does this mean? Now, from the administration's perspective, they expect immigrants to be self-dependent. If you look at it in the long term, if you move to the United States, you are expected to be living here either for a very long time or for the rest of your life. So they don't want people who take advantage of the system to be able to remain here. They only want people who will come into the United States, take part in the economics of the United States without relying on the government, and actually add to the United States add value to the United States as a whole. So that's what the Trump administration is looking. That's the lens that they're looking at is situation through. So in many ways, it makes sense. But the challenge is that, if you take a look at the previous administration, they had a different set of rules. So if during the previous administration, you've, taken advantage of this, you've been able to apply and even qualify for these programs, now in the current administration, you will not be able to get a green card. So I think that's where it's going to be challenging for a lot of immigrants. And from the article that we're going to provide the link below, the number is estimated to be near hundreds of thousands of immigrants.
Yeah, Wally. I mean, I think it's also under the public charge rule, if I'm correct. Even though I do not know for sure what the similarities are, but I know that under the public charge rule, it encompasses any form of benefit from the government while, trying to apply for immigration or green card benefits, right? So therefore, the government will deny any such application. So even public charge has been considered. Interestingly, Wally, public charge rule has been considered before the person enters the US. And that's why when people are being sponsored, I also think it's largely depending on the category. But for this conversation, is green card do you get? So in most cases, this category of people is directed to a bucket of people rather who are already in the US, adjusting their status to green card. So because public charge rule, there is a section that applies to those who are still outside the country trying to come to the country. They will try and estimate if the person will be a body, which is called public charge. But those who are already here living and who have come into the US through different means, maybe through work, through other forms of visa application, and who now qualifies for green card. Those are the people, because I was trying to understand the difference, but this is just for some clarity. Those are the people in this conversation that we're having right now who are already in the US, who are living under one visa category or the other, and now qualified to get green card. Because they've been in the US for so long or for a period of time, they might or may have been benefiting from Medicaid or SNAP. And so, for that reason, the government is saying we are going to deny the application for green card. Does that make sense, Riley?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that's the way I interpreted it too. So, but it's just that it's different. The threshold is different from administration to administration. That's what people are going to find
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Keeping our eyes on the US right now, let's head down south of Florida. There's a crucial legislative push happening right now following some intense legal shakeups. The Florida Haitian Refugee Act has been officially introduced, coming right on the heels of a major Supreme Court ruling regarding temporary protective status. There's been, in recent news, the temporary protective status was pulled from under, you would say, the Asian community. But this is some good news that I'll let Wally throw more details on.
Yes, so I think it's both for Haitian and Syrians that the TPS is not going to be renewed by the Trump administration. This particular act is being led by Haitians in Florida, basically to be able to provide a pathway for those who have lived in the United States for many years. One of the arguments is that if the United States is saying that it is dangerous for Americans to travel to Haiti, it doesn't make sense for Haitians that are here for them to also return, because there's still a lot of violence that is going on back in Haiti. So it will put them more in harm's way going back than staying here. So that's one of the motivations for them. And if you look at it logically, then it definitely makes sense that if America is saying that Americans don't travel to this country, but then they want to send people from that country back there, then they're it's likely they're going to be in danger when they return. So that's one of the motivations. And it's also pushed by, people who are Haitians also, but now they are American citizens, and they really want to be able to provide a safe haven for their fellow Haitians. So now what I'm trying to wrap around my head, which I don't know how they are going to do it, is it possible for a state to create a law that is going to lead to the issuance of a green card? That's what I find very interesting about this whole thing. So if they are doing it, maybe there's precedent for it already. Maybe it already happened in a different state and they've been able to help people to remain in the state and eventually get their green card. So I'm curious to see how this is going to work out, because if the federal government is saying that we are removing these, how are they going to go about it?
That's a very interesting question you asked, Wally. Hopefully, if anyone have a comment on that, you can drop it in the comment section and we'll definitely take it up and probably read it out. Also for others to, kind of learn from different views. Nonetheless, from the south of Florida, let's head north to Canada, where the dream of transitioning from an international student to a permanent resident just hit a massive roadblock for a lot of people. In Calgary, international students are reporting that their postgraduate work permits, or PGWP as it's called, are being denied following a recent rule classification by the IRCC.
Yes, so this is one of those situations where a lot of students, they especially, they're living in different parts of the world. They see advertisements from schools about how to come to Canada to study and potentially eventually become a permanent resident in Canada. You get your work permit and then you move on to become a citizen. So this is one of those things that became an issue where the schools where the students are from are those that are not accredited. Now, it would be great if the students knew that before they actually came to Canada. But right now, this is, I think this is just a part of a series of measures that Canada is taking to make sure that they're able to get the exact kind of immigrants and workforce that they need to be able to help the Canadian economy.
Yeah, well said, Wale, because one of the things that, usually happen with the international student in this situation is their inability to, gather or find the right information while still abroad, especially with accreditation of an institution. There's just so many information online, and being able to streamline, another country, in this case, coming to Canada where you don't live or they didn't live in Canada at the time, the ability to find, right information in Canada might be really difficult for, several international students. So it's so easy to fall prey to a situation where, you are now graduated from school and trying to apply for a change in your status, and you have been told that, the school you attended is not accredited, and so therefore you do not qualify to, get, a work permit to remain in Canada. Well, that would be very heartbroken. I cannot imagine what it would feel like to be in a situation like that after 4 years, after spending so much money.
After 4 years.
4 years. With all your dreams and plans just thrown away in the dust. No, that can be heartbreaking. Yeah. All right, moving on. It is not all tough news out of Canada. If you're applying for a work permit from outside the country, things might actually move a whole lot faster for you depending on where you live. The IRCC just published its updated processing time, and some countries are seeing massive speed ups, i.e., to my greatest surprise, Nigeria.
Are you sure it's outside the country or from Canada?
No, from outside the country.
Yeah, because when I saw the numbers, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, from outside the country. I was also shocked. I would have expected India somewhere around there, to have the highest number.
I don't expect it to be good because they have their own series of complicated processes there. It's the same thing that is also similar with Nigeria, but apparently for whatever reason they've been able to really speed it up, like cut it by almost 5 weeks. So originally it was 11 weeks, by almost 50% cut down the time. So this is something I've never seen before for any country at all that Nigerians are either applying for, whether it's a green card to the US or, work permit to Canada or even blue card to Europe. The wait time is usually way, way longer than 6 weeks. But right now for Nigeria, it's been cut down to 6 weeks. And for many other countries too, India actually remains at 9 weeks. For Pakistan, Pakistan is the oddball, yeah, but Pakistan decreased from 6 weeks to 7 weeks. But for United States, it went from 4 weeks to 3 weeks. For Philippines, it went from 7 weeks to 6 weeks. So most of the other countries decreased they remain the same except for Pakistan, obviously. It's something that is very surprising. Nigeria saw the most gain out of all the countries from 11 to 6 weeks. It's crazy.
It is crazy. So if you are sitting on the fence right now, you're thinking whether to put in your application, please go ahead because you might just get it sooner than you thought. So note that. Finally, let's talk about a hidden gem. When people think about moving to Europe, they usually think of UK, Germany, or Spain. But have you looked into Andorra, a country with a population of about 84,000. This tiny, beautiful place is nested between France and Spain. It just bump up its work permit quotas, and you might just be able to get in if you throw in your application as soon as possible. We have links in the description where you can find some additional information where you can, take the next step if you're interested in going to Andorra Do your research and don't take our word for it alone.
Yeah, so you have to consider the population when you're talking about the numbers here. It was bumped up by 250, and from all the way from, I think originally it was about 800. So basically, at least 25% increase to about 1,000 people. That's a significant amount.
For a population like that,
for a population of 80
that's a lot,
approximately 84,000. Actually less, it's 3,753 if I have the number correctly. So this is something that is huge for the country, but again, it's a small country that they have specific needs in. Healthcare is, is always going to be, there's always going to be need in healthcare all over the world. The same thing applies to Andorra. They need people in transportation. They need people in other sectors like that they are prioritizing here. So additional 250 is for those in those industries where they actually need a lot more people. So if you are in healthcare or in transportation, you can take a look at the links that we have below. There are also other categories there that I don't have at the top of my head right now, but take a look. And Europe is always a great place to live. The fact that they're even between France and Spain means that if you want to go on vacation to France or Spain, is like a stone throw away. Literally a stone throw away. Maybe not literally, but it's not that difficult.
It's a train away.
It's maybe an hour drive away. That's the thing.
Yeah. It's a train ride.
The thing is that living in a country like Andorra definitely has a lot of benefits. So we encourage you to check it out. I'm happy we ended this on a fantastic and encouraging news.
All right. Awesome, Wally. Thanks for, taking that out. And that brings us to the end of another page in my immigrant diary. The global landscape is changing fast. The rules are tightening. Some are opening. Please do your research. Be quick and put in your applications as soon as you can, because time is of the essence in immigration processes. Thank you again. Please like and subscribe and stay tuned as we bring you the next episode.
You'll see you in the next one. Thanks.
Bye now.